Well, good evening, everyone. This is the March regular meeting of the Harlan Community School District Board, and so we'll start here on time. And we do have a quorum, 5 of us. I believe Joni is in Houston, and Monty is tied up in a meeting, so he wasn't able to make it tonight. But we have 5, so I think we're good. Catherine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order and determine we have a quorum. Again, we'll note once again that this is a public forum, and we encourage citizens that have not got things settled at the administration level or school level to come in and talk to us. And so we do it orderly. They're requested to call in a few hours early, so we get them on the schedule. And the question is to Catherine if anyone called in.
No, sir.
Okay, so we're good with that. So we'll move right on to item C and see if anybody had any questions or comments on the agenda, or we can have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
So move it, Jade and Greg. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
And those opposed, no? Okay, the next item is D, discussion items, and we can see what Superintendent Barnett has to say.
Okay, I'll talk real quick about my goals, because next month will be my evaluation, and I choose to do it in a closed session, if that's okay with you guys. There are 10 standards, and so I've shared with Jim just the bits and pieces of each standard that I've done, and then the 2 goals, one of them is just to ensure trust, transparency, and communication, along with the facility upgrade and the board and staff and parents. So I continue to do that and try to answer emails, phone calls, whatever, as quickly as possible. We are also trying to do better at the website. We have a new website, we have a new app. Facebook, we're trying to just promote more things out there, but we can always get better at that. And
That's a full-time job in itself.
well, we've got Ashley. Ashley's doing some help with us too. And one of the things that I do want to do, but we haven't had any real construction yet, we've got lots of behind the scenes stuff, is when it starts, is to have some student-led updates, do some videoing, and then share those online just to say, here's where we are with this today, or interview one of the construction workers when the elementary starts, or things like that. So we're hoping to get that moving once it starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Community involvement, I am on the Wellness Alliance. I'm on a new committee with Shelby, Monona, and Harrison County with the Hub and the Houston Foundation, so they are trying to get more resources in our rural area, and they've donated quite a bit of money, so I'm helping I'm on an advisement committee on that. And Teammates, the Emergency Management Alliance, and the Shelby County Child Abuse Prevention. And then just the second goal is just to implement the process of a K-12 curriculum with content standards. So we are in the process of working with teachers with that. Casey, Bill, Jeff have really worked with that. We are gonna purchase a new curriculum, pre-K through 8 language arts, so that will start some of that movement. And then we have hired someone as our STEM teacher who is coming from Nebraska, and she helped develop a lot of their computer science standards pre-K through 12, which is a requirement here by the state pretty soon, so she will be able to help us do that. And then special education side of things, we have a leadership team now, and we've done some data digs just to see how many paras we have, how many students need however many minutes for paras, and if we're adequately, if we have enough staff to do what we need to do on that end. And then looking at programming, because we've got some students that might need a little bit more behavior intervention than we have, so how can we look at that and help those kids? So that's where I'm at. Any questions?
I've seen something particular about the kindergarten through 8th grade curriculum. You're really working on that?
Yes.
One of the bullet points.
Trying, yes, we're trying, and then tying in the 6th through 12th curriculum too. So science, as kids go through a science class, they're learning different standards each grade level versus maybe something in 8th grade and then again in 11th grade, or we're expanding on it. So you're learning new things as you go. It builds.
Yeah. I might mention that one of the board's primary goals, as you all know, is to support and and direct and sometimes criticize the superintendent, and so I think that can be done better whenever we have something to say. But once a year, we're thoroughly vet that, and so Superintendent Barnett's going to share her goals. Probably be a couple weeks if you'll look forward for me sending them to you, and so that everyone can kind of take a look at that, and we can proceed next April, the next board meeting with that evaluation. Actually, the state says we need to do that. Is that right, Al?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
And then now Davis is going to talk about activities.
Yeah, so I don't want to bore you with a ton of numbers, but Dr. Barnett asked me to speak on behalf of kind of participation, where we're at this year, and like I said, bear with me a little bit, but the overall kind of idea is that we're very, very similar this year to the past couple of years anyway, in terms of overall participation by the 9-12 student body. I will say we have about 90% of our students that are in a fine art, athletics, or a club of some sort. And those numbers are a little hard because we have some kids that dabble and get out of things, which is okay. But yeah, I'd be confident saying it looked like over 90% that we could find. So that's a pretty strong number. We feel like that have something outside the normal school hours that they're participating in, and most of those kids are doing multiple things. Out of our high school, I'll give you some numbers on athletics. 43 of our 63 freshman boys are in a sport. 39 of our 59 girls, 43 of 63, 39 of 59. Those numbers are almost exactly the same, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's shocking how close they are. 10th grade boys, it's 43 out of 64. That's 43 out of 63 as freshmen. 10th grade girls, 38 out of 60. Again, that's 39 out of 59. For the juniors, there are 37 boys that participate out of 60, and 40 out of 53 girls. So that's a kind of our high number. They're kind of carrying the banner a little bit percentage-wise. And senior boys, you don't see hardly any drop, which is an awesome thing to see. 38 out of 63. So the boys are 43, 43, 37, and 38. So really strong, because usually you see quite a few tail off as they get older and less playing times available and that sort of thing. So I was very encouraged by that number. The senior girls number looks down. It's 27, but there are only, unless our number's wrong, there's only 43 girls in that senior class. So percentage-wise, it's actually very similar and strong overall. It's just that there's less to work with there overall. So really very, very similar throughout. Encouraged by that. Our biggest groups for the fine arts, we've got over 70 in the marching band. Really closer to 80 when you bring in the flags and everybody else. We've got 60 plus in chorus. So those are two very strong programs that have a lot of different breakout groups as well. Small groups and such, but show choir and all the different things we do, jazz bands, so on and so forth. A neat number that I came across, so again, I tried not to bore you with numbers and I've said too many already. We felt like we found 62% of our fine arts kiddos, students, also do a sport. So nearly 2/3 of those that are in band or chorus also play a sport. So I thought that was a very, very strong number. Shows our directors, coaches are playing well together. It's hard. Everybody wants their kid for the max amount of time. Everybody wants to be the best, and it can get complicated, but overall, I'm pretty proud of that number and proud of what our coaches and sponsors have done to make that happen, because that's a pretty good number. Yeah, overall, again, the numbers, total participation, very similar. A little down in the winter time, but spring and fall are a little higher than the previous year. So overall, very, very similar.
Thank you, Davis. And we do need to tell Davis congratulations, he's leaving us, but got a principal job in AHSCW, so we're excited for him. We're sad to see him leave, but we're happy for him to move on.
Thank you very much. Not prepared for a speech on this one, but
Sorry.
yeah, when you talk about Dr. Barnett's evaluation, so I'll put in a 30-second plug. She's probably the best superintendent I've ever been able to work with, and I've for some reason worked with a lot in a somewhat short career, but she's doing a phenomenal job here. The admin team's been great, and those things certainly have made it more difficult to take this opportunity, but very grateful and thankful for my time here and all the support I've gotten.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything on the building committee you want to say? Or anybody from the building committee want to mention something? I guess a week ago tonight, we approved the bids. And so we'll know more tomorrow. We have another meeting or tomorrow.
Yep.
Good job.
Said it all, Jim. Good job.
Okay.
All the details we
We're the
had.
extra bad in that meeting tomorrow.
You are.
Forewarning you, I've got all sorts of stuff going on at work tomorrow, so I'll be in it, but I'll kind of.
Did I?
Jim's got some good questions. I'll tell you what time it is.
8:30.
Is it 8:30?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I imagine it's Zoom again, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Try to
Get all
do it by
the- all the
4 or 5 in the
information.
afternoon.
Get all the information you can in about the first 10 minutes, and I'll be.
Okay, we'll start there with your concerns.
Very good. So we'll move on to the action items. E.
We didn't
Wait,
do
so
student
student
accolades.
accolades, Jim, real quick.
Oh, good, okay.
Okay, so Jeff was not able to be here tonight, but they had elementary literacy night, and there were like over 500 people there. It was amazing. I don't know if any of you, these are some of the teachers who dressed up as books. So this is Miss Nelson, Miss Erin Holtz, and so those are both the teachers, the nice one and the mean one. Right there. But it was a really fun night, and they have a dinner, and they have lots of different people there. Oh, there's more pictures, okay. I know, like, the library was there, the AEA was there. They just have lots of just different places where kids had activities and can do things. There's Harry Potter. This is out of Charlotte's Web.
Pete the cat.
Pete the Cat, and this one is, I can't think of it right now off my head, but it's Miss, it's an old one, I should know it. Anyway, they had really, really good success, lots and lots of families there, so it's a fun night, it's a really fun night. Middle school, Bill?
Yeah, lots of good things going on there. The first picture there is a middle school concert, vocal concert that took place there about a week ago with a big full house. They had also a show choir competition this last Saturday at Hinton and did very well there. The next picture off to the right, and the one catty corner down to its left, that's a math counts team that participated. It's kind of like the old Math Bee things from years ago, and so that 8th grade team finished first up in the top right and had places first, second, fourth, and 8th overall individually. So that was awesome. And then, like I said, down below there to the left is the 6th through 8th grade. That's everyone that participated. So that was they did an outstanding job. So they're moving on to the state competition here on Thursday. And then off to the right, we had some kids that participated in a geography bee, and they qualified for state as well. So they'll be participating next month in April at the state level. And then the last picture is each quarter we nominate, each teacher gets to nominate a student from their course. Not the person that maybe overall the best in the class, but somebody that emulates what we want to see in a learner in terms of that tries hard, that's respectful, that gets along with their classmates. And so that's a picture of each student that was nominated by a teacher from each grade level in course there for Student of the Quarter recognition. So we have a little assembly for them and kind of have some pizza with them and talk about make sure they understand why they were nominated and stuff, so.
Thanks, Bill. Casey, got Nick
Yep.
there.
We have, it's the best picture of the year, I
It
think.
is the
Nick
best
Spawn, he's in there, he's winking at the camera. That's during the inclusion night. As kids, I think it was during their starting lineups and things like that. And he's just so excited to get out there and play and have a good time. So I just think that picture, it says a million words, so. And then we have the student section doing the roller coaster with our favorite SRO. And I just put on there, I put that on there as just a, you know, you can have a SRO, but then you can have an SRO who will do the roller coaster with the student section. And we're just so appreciative of the relationships RJ builds with students, and he just does a great job, so.
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah, yeah. And then at the bottom is another inclusion picture. These guys were handing out, they had this poster to have kids sign and just support inclusion, and so they had stickers they were handing out on the inclusion game night, and getting kids to sign it, and just really excited to be part of, you know, just an exciting day for everybody, so cute picture. I also thought I'd just let you guys know, we are going to move to a digital hall pass system next year. I thought I'd give you a heads up and kind of explain a little bit. It's called e-hall pass. I had the staff vote earlier this month on if they wanted to move in that direction, and the majority said yes, so we're just going to work into it. So what it is it's basically like the hall pass that, you know, you carry from class to class, but it's in digital format. So we can have better hallway management with that. Students are only allotted so many passes a day, so we really value instruction, and we have a lot of frequent flyers who, you know, they might get out of a class every period because one teacher doesn't know that they just went to the restroom 20 minutes ago, and then before that, and before that. So, and then there's building security. You know, a student might say they need to use the restroom or go to the office, but where do they end up? Hard to say. So some of this just helps manage some of that system-wide hall pass thing. We've also had a lot of vandalism happening here in mostly the boys' bathrooms have had a lot of vandalism going on.
Surprise.
And this is like an anti-vaping, anti-vandalism deterrent as well, because you can restrict meetups. So we can have it so that two students who we know tend to meet up often in the restroom or wherever they're meeting up, if they are submitting for a hall pass, then the other student can't leave. You know, so we can really make some positive changes. I know the secretaries in the office are really excited. Appointment passes, things like that. So I think it just offers us a lot of opportunity, especially with a remodel coming up, where we will have portables outside that students are going to. I mean, we just really want to make sure we know where kids are
Good idea.
and where they're going, and that they are where they say they're going to be, and they're not gone for as long as they have been. You know, it's easy for a teacher to say, yeah, go to the restroom, and then you lose track of when they come back. Well, when a student submits a hall pass, it turns their whole screen green. So a kid spins their computer around and it shows green, and then after, we set the limit. So after 4 minutes or 5 minutes, it turns yellow, and then it turns red. So a teacher can just see that color and know, you know, if they need to be tracking someone down or finding someone. And so we're just getting started on the demo. I think we can pilot this fall or this spring still, but I don't know if we'll make that something that every teacher has to do. Not everyone wants to start it this spring. Some do, some don't. So still some more to look into, but I think it's a promising program that will just take some of the headache out of that system-wide getting kids where they need to go and making sure that teenagers are where they say they are. So, just wanted to
Know of
inform
any
you a little
schools that
bit.
have used this
We have
successfully?
two, yep. Glenwood and Red Oak both use it within Hawkeye 10. And so I've been to Glenwood and talked it through with their principal, and he showed me like the admin side and things like that. You can restrict how many students are in the hall at once in the entire school, so Like they have it set at 15, and then you can see just a running monitor of who's out and what's going on, and
This will be 9/12.
this will be 9/12, yep.
So what's that cost to implement?
I haven't got a quote yet, it's around $3 a student. But
A
we-
one-time fee or?
It's yearly.
Annually, probably.
We also, another program that the same company has is the Flex Time Manager, and we also have that, so he's running a quote for me to do both, and so it should, I think it should look better since we're purchasing both programs, they'll give us a discount, so.
So is this handled under the principal's office with your office staff?
Yeah, yep. It should, and it's more of a, everybody has to be on board and implement it with fidelity, otherwise you run into a lot of problems. And it's not a difficult program to learn how to use, but it is a change in habit. Because a teacher has to either put a code in or click and say, can I get a help? Can I, go to the restroom or whatever? Yep, so they have to like have it pulled up on their computer and things like that. So it is a change in habit. And I think that'll be, the startup will be the biggest change, and then getting in place. So I really like it with remodel, and considering that we're going to have 3 portables outside and kids coming in and out and things like that, that we just can track them a little bit better, so.
So the laptop stays in the classroom?
Yep.
And then the teacher looks at that to see how
Yeah.
much time that kid's been.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's big,
But
a ticking clock.
But then you have a chart.
That's color-coded, yeah.
well, I'm saying it's not a kid carrying their laptop to the
No,
bathroom
no.
or something.
No.
So
And the teacher will have their own hub. It'll have,
They-
if you have a roster of 20, it'll have all 20 kids on there, and you can see.
Don't spend less time using the porta pots outside.
And we can track it.
Yeah, I bet.
I'll get back to class
Yeah.
faster.
Right, yeah, and it just pulls a lot more data onto, so like,
Or on hot days.
right now, a kid might say, can I go to the guidance? Well, sometimes they really need to go to the guidance office to talk about scheduling or whatever, and other times they just wanna get out of class. More times they just wanna get out of class. So, this will allow the guidance counselors to send appointment passes, and then, nope, you don't have an appointment pass, or whatever. And that is just recaptured instructional time. I mean, the kids are gonna be really excited when they hear about this e-hall pass system that
Sounds like
we're
it.
gonna put in place, but, they'll be in class more and the stronger learning, and we can keep track and just have I think a better system, so.
You may have heard about it from my children already.
You did already? They're glad they're graduating,
Yeah.
a few of them?
They just heard rumors of what it was.
Yeah,
gonna be.
well,
They were complaining, so it must be good.
yep.
That's how you decided that's a good idea.
I was like, they're just gonna love it, so.
Boy, I would've skipped a good presentation.
I was a
They were
good
good. Good stuff.
That's good stuff.
I think unless there's anything else, we'll move on to the action items. And the first item here is one, Catherine, the personnel report.
Yeah, you guys, we've hired, looks like 5 people this last month, and something that we're really kind of excited, or not people, or new positions, but something we're really excited about is, and Jenny said earlier, is we hired a high school STEM teacher. I know, it's super exciting. We've got some interviews coming up this week for some language arts opening, and we're gonna start, we've got lots of interviews coming up. So some bad news is Greg Skeen withdrew his name for our art teacher, so we've got to start looking for that again.
So I have a question about the hiring process. So when we offer them these positions and they accept them, they're not officially signing a contract.
Well, with Greg, we offered a couple of months ago before we had negotiated. So what I do is I send a letter that says, lots of people don't want to resign from their current job until they have some sort of contract or letter. So usually I will just send them a letter that says, you have a job here.
Sure.
So are you saying because he didn't sign a contract, or how are we letting him out of our contract?
Well, I'm curious.
Yeah.
We know my love of one
Yeah.
thing in particular. So I'm curious how that behooves us to say, okay, so we're interviewing, we're getting people lined up, but then we don't actually have them locked in.
Yeah, so now we've got our negotiations finalized.
Sure.
Now we can send them an actual contract. So it's just that tiny.
Is it a legal thing that we can't have them a contract at the time? And with some variance, that negotiation could change this.
Yeah.
Before we can say.
We didn't know.
No, they-
Right, I mean, I get that, but I'm saying we've thought we had this teacher for how many months and now we don't.
Yeah,
Is that just how it goes?
yep. I mean,
And
I
normally,
think
so
we
we
could probably,
probably 7 others,
Yeah.
and they didn't do that because, so I'm not sure.
yeah.
I think there were yeah. No, I mean,
There
I
can be a
wish
lot
there
of
was a
things.
way, yeah.
Right.
But you,
It's a problem in all businesses anyway. You
Yeah.
hire somebody and whether they show up on Monday or not.
Yeah, well, it just seems like if we can't do anything about actually securing them obviously they could get other offers, better offers, whatever. And it just seems very, I didn't know if it was a legal thing that we can't have some clause in there that says pending union negotiation, or if it's just the practice of we don't do that.
It does say, you will get a contract pending union negotiation and a background check and,
Sure.
all this other stuff.
There's just nothing if they.
I mean, we could if
It's
probably
all
if we wanted to go after them, but I don't think it's worth our time and effort because then they're not gonna wanna, I mean,
No,
I don't want
I,
a teacher if we do that.
how often
might
do
get a
you think this
reputation.
happens?
it's never happened to me.
This is the first time it's
Yeah.
ever happened in my
Yeah.
career. I mean, they might say, let me talk to, give me a week to figure it out, and they usually tell you yes or no by then, but this one
There were some other circumstances
Yeah.
surrounding it.
came out of left field.
Yep. Yeah.
Good question, Jade.
I know,
Yeah,
I
another good
know.
question, Jade. And then we have a lot of coaches that we're hiring for and some, still need a high school cook and some paras up here in the high school. We've got quite a few new students today in the elementary school, so a couple of them need some para assistance, so we're gonna be looking for elementary paras as well. And then we do have another pending offer for the STEM teacher technology coach. So, well, actually, we'll let you know more about that next month. And then those are our current openings that we're gonna hire for, hopefully very soon. And contracts are due on April 5th. They went out on March 15th, so we'll know more information about if we have any other openings pretty quickly here. And then we'll just keep plugging along.
Is there a certain percentage of the contracts that you probably have no idea that?
This morning I think we had 19 or 20 certified contracts back already. So that's a pretty good number for now.
What you expect, huh? Very good. Any more comments on the personnel report? Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the personnel report?
So moved.
Joe, second by Al. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Next, we move on to number 2 of the action items, approval of laptop bid for the 2023-2024 school year.
I handed that out to you guys too, so you have that in front of you. Jeremy Poor is here, and I just want to give him tons of kudos because he has stepped up and done more than what we've asked him to do. So he's here representing the technology department at this time. And he's gonna, do you want to talk a little bit about the
So we went through the bidding process and we reached out to 3 different vendors, including Lightbox Systems, who would be considered a local vendor there up in Harlan. And Lightbox declined to bid. That's the reply I got back was, hey, we look forward to working with you guys on other things, but this is not in our wheelhouse. It's too much. Vivacity is a new company that reached out to me, so I brought them in. They're out of Minneapolis. They were pretty close on the laptop numbers, but the warranty numbers just didn't mesh. We've been working with Riverside Technologies since the beginning of the one-to-one program. They came in as the low bid, so we're very happy. We've been very happy with them, so we just ask for approval on that. We can move forward, and then we move forward to looking at getting the bids on the leases. We get a couple different companies to bid out leases on those.
I know I've had enough kids, I should know all this, but they get new computers,
6th grade and freshman year.
Do they just go through and the technology changes that fast, that there's that turnover?
Well, what happens is that, so at the end of that 8th grade year, those get passed down to the elementary students, 4th and 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
So it's I hate to say it's a recycled process, because every year they are refurbished, every year they go through and they fix, and they go through and make them so they're up to date. But as far as technology goes as a whole, 5 years on a laptop is a pretty good life for a laptop. Used to be you'd get your computer, your Gateway 2000 back in the day, and it would last you 10 years.
Sure.
But you paid $4,000 for that laptop or that computer, and nowadays you're paying a lot less than that. And so they're more, I hate to say disposable,
Yeah.
but they're more cycled in and out, so.
I think my Commodore 64 lasted longer.
I'm sure you paid a lot more.
I did.
Jake's like, what is that?
I remember having to wait and dial it up. I remember when they started coming out with
Yeah,
commercials
yeah.
for the internet. I'm like, I should write these down in case we get a computer
2400
someday.
And that was fast.
That was fast, yeah.
And Jeremy, was there a change, what brand are these? Are there a change of
They're
brands?
HP, nope, same brand,
Same
just
brand.
the next model.
Next time.
Yeah, just the next iteration of the model that we have. So
Okay.
we've had a lot of good luck with what we've been using.
Okay.
Brian, what do we get to pool this money from to?
This comes out of the tech budget, which is a combination of Pepple, Penny, and general fund. Most generally, this stuff is gonna come out of Pepple and the Penny,
Okay,
and it's in the budget.
I figured. I'm just,
There may be some changes down the road that will be more cost effective for us. Brian, we've got this in the budget. Jeremy, we kind of already it's a little too late this spring to change, but we may look at some changes the next year, just to be more cost effective, strategic.
yeah.
And the purchase agreement itself would be for next month. to sign.
The purchase agreement,
Yeah,
the
you take
bid,
it.
yes, we just have to
Yeah.
approve the bid first,
Okay.
yep, and then we
Yeah.
can
Then
bring
get
in
the
the
purchase
purchase agreement,
Yeah.
yep.
So when will we actually get these, in the spring?
No, we'll get them in the summer.
All the summer?
Yeah. So the way that process works is we actually ship back. So the current laptops, we collect them from the kids. They send us crates, we ship those back, and by the time those usually go out, right away, we're getting that first shipment of the new ones in. And the company, with RTI, we get them already imaged. And then Jim Billings puts them on the table and gets them set up for the kids, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Other questions, comments? Okay, could we have
I move we accept the bid from Riverside Technologies.
Second, oh, go ahead, Al.
You got it.
Jade's got the second, I believe. Catherine, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. Next we have.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Jeremy.
Good job.
Next we have E, action item. Let's see, yes, this is 3, approval of the purchasing agreement with Area Education Agency for 2023-2024.
I can speak to this. It's basically just for our little schools, the AEA goes out to bid and gets us the best price possible for, our food, our small wares, and our ware wash bids. So it's just, we sign, and we done it, how many years, Brian? We do it all the time.
We do it every year. I
Yes.
mean, it's basically, it's a consortium bid is what it is.
A lot of savings, isn't there?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
We can even come close to doing what they do.
Very good.
Saves us a
Any
lot of
questions about it? Comments? Okay, how about a motion to approve the AEA purchasing agreement?
So moved.
So moved by Al and seconded
Second.
by Joe. All those in favor, aye?
I,
Those opposed, no. Next, we have action item E4, policy review schedule first reading.
I thought I was losing my mind when I opened the email. I'm like, did we just read this?
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, I don't remember.
She accidentally had sent the same thing.
Oh,
the
okay.
same- I was like,
First reading and
Oh, yeah,
second reading.
second reading.
I read through all of it and I was like, what? I'm pretty sure I just read
You
that.
read the whole thing?
I
Really?
did.
Nice. Love it.
Good job.
I'm a little slower to catch on sometimes.
I
Nice job
ignored
of
the
keeping
first
her
email.
busy.
Oh,
Oops, sorry,
You
Catherine.
read the whole thing twice?
no, I read the whole thing through once and then I got a little through it and I was like, nope, pretty sure I know this because I just read it.
Did anyone see any comments about it? I guess on that committee this month was Joe and me and Joni, but I didn't see anything
I didn't.
particular.
Yeah.
That's
all
pretty
seemed
easy.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think they only added a little thing the IASB did at the bottom.
At the end of, is it a certain policy, Jade, or the?
No, I keep going.
Okay.
No, I just put those notes in for you guys.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it was that, we had something in addition to what IASB had.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And
It's
if
usually
nobody,
in blue.
if
Yeah,
no one
no.
comments, then I take out the.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, we're good. Okay.
Nice thing about this system is that we're using is that it, as it goes on, it gets easier to do because you have fewer changes. It doesn't take the time that it used to
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
It's really a well-oiled machine right now.
When you get the right one.
Thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome.
And you get the right thing.
Could we have a motion to approve the first reading?
So moved.
So moved by Jade, second.
Second.
We got Greg on that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The next item on the agenda is action item E5, the policy review schedule second reading. Any comments or any notices on the second reading, which starts out with expulsion?
None from me.
I looked it over and didn't see anything, yeah. Al. Okay, could we have a motion to approve the second reading?
So moved. Second.
So moved by Joe and seconded by Al. Catherine's keeping up. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and those opposed, no. Next, we have the consent agenda. Here we put Brian on the hot seat. So any questions or comments on the consent agenda? And the other board meeting minutes are also in there. I think I might have circled something, but I can't remember what it was. Amplify, I was gonna ask you what that was, Brian, $50,000?
Amplify is the down payment on the curriculum
That new
purchase.
curriculum
I see, You bet. And is that for the elementary school? or-
That's the K
Yeah.
that
language arts
they were
one.
speaking of.
My only question on that was gonna be, do they get the workbooks? Or do they have to make the copies for those? And it would be elementary, I would ask Jeff that.
Right.
Cause I made the copies for the 5th grade and it was a lot, or maybe it was the 3rd grade, it was a ton of copies. So do we get workbooks?
Sure wish Steve was here because he's the one that
We
did
had
the-
this discussion and we've gone back and forth, so I will get you the answer, but I don't know what we
I
officially
think
decided.
the first year
Because I
through, I
think-
think they're gonna,
I think we did get them.
yes.
If it's copies, that's gonna add a ton of time for
Yeah,
those teachers.
I'm pretty sure they got the workbooks this
I think we did get them.
All I do is
Yeah.
press the buttons and it took 2 hours to make
Yeah.
the 3rd grade copies for that.
No, I'm pretty sure they did this year,
Yeah.
but Steve could answer that.
So I'd be curious of cost effectiveness if we think, well, we'll just make the copies.
Yeah.
There's no way, that's a ton of paper and time.
Well, that's what that's why we went back and forth, because they do it for math too. And you can send it out, like we could send it out to an AEA and they could run them for us and then send them back. And we did look into that for math, but the booklets are expensive too, when you look at it. So, but I think you're right, Brian, I'm almost
pretty sure we
positive we
did
did
that,
end up getting it,
I,
this year. No, I totally, I feel your pain and we hear about it. It's just, it's kind of sticker shock when you first see the books too, so, oof.
yeah, I know that was one of my questions
time is
because
very
it is.
important, yeah.
And getting all those teachers in there, there's not a single building that I've gone into to help make a copy that I haven't had a crabby teacher, a crabby somebody because it was taking too long, and
Yeah.
the copy room is grounds for crabbiness, I'll just say that. So if we could keep that in mind, I would appreciate it.
I'm pretty sure for sure we got it the first year.
I don't make copies in the high school, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive the first year we did in.
there might be crabbiness in the high school, I don't know. It could be me, but if there's somebody not happy, I'm like, I don't know how to stop
Every time
it.
you go in there, scratching.
Yes,
What's the common denominator?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
Even in your own store.
However, I'm just quietly sitting there making copies, and if that makes people mad, well. But it's a lot, it's a lot.
Yeah, okay. No, we heard that, so we just, for
I'm
sure the first year.
I know we sure, and I think they were
will
gonna
just continue to
re-examine
listen
it
to
after
that.
the first year.
Very good. I was also gonna ask on the Iowa Western, I know you addressed this before, is that for the college classes?
Well,
That's-
So Iowa
71,000.
Western, the Infinite Wisdom sent us a bill for some of the classes here a couple of months ago, and then they said, oh, yeah, we didn't bill you for these, so their billing system isn't the best.
Yeah,
But this is the rest of the first semester.
sure. And this is the results, and a lot of kids can go to college with some.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
that's
great.
That's the
investment.
positive side, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
We have a lot of kids leave here with a lot of credit.
Yeah. Yes, that's
That's-
really, and I think from what I've seen in the country, it's really unusual that our school district is really ahead on that.
Yeah.
It's a costly
Long time.
thing, it's also good for our kids.
Yeah, I've seen them work, and boy, they have to, those courses are tough, some of them.
We have a lot of dual enrollment as well, where our teachers are teaching the classes in online, and then we also have the Career Academy classes too, where they're going to Iowa Western all afternoon for auto diesel mechanics and things like that too, so,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. I see there is 700,000 in the bank in the construction fund, and we're paying the Novos, I believe, 400,000 or something like that. I guess that's just part of the deal, right?
Yeah, yep. They earned every penny of that this last month.
Yeah, we, some of the bond funds are still in CDs, and that'll come out as we need the funds, so.
And we'll learn a lot
Well,
more
the rates are high right
on
now.
our meeting on, is it March 29th, a work meeting, is that right?
Yep.
On
On the
rates,
financing plan.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right, I can't be there that night.
That's the
right.
financing plan.
that'll probably be pretty important, I
I
suspect.
know, I agree.
Because it kind of,
I agree.
they kind of frame when we're gonna borrow the rest of the bonds proceeds and stuff like that.
And what's been happening in the economy is part of that, I imagine, the last months.
He still's fairly comfortable that the financing plan's all in good shape.
Wow, that's great.
'Cause when we talked to him last week, he's real comfortable with that, yeah.
That's what we want to hear on the bids too, don't we? Very good. Any more discussion on the consent agenda? Any comments or questions or anything like that? If not, could we get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Ray gets on that one. Second?
Second.
Second by Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. So we are to the important part of the meeting, adjournment. Would anyone like to make a motion? to
Yes,
adjourn the
I
meeting?
would.
We got that from Jade. Second? Second by Craig. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Thank you all.
I know.